Bezos, and again, I just came back from China, just leave you, I think we're coming towards the end, but I think really one thought, a lot of people say to me, you haven't asked me the question, but let me ask it. What's next? What's next? So
I had that down here.
So it was the final question. so they say, what's next? So the trite answer is, it's always, mobile and data. That's the usual nonsense that people throw out. So I was thinking this morning actually, because there was a magazine that was asking that question, and I'm obviously influenced by the fact we just had our strategy session in Beijing for top 100 or so people, which we do every year, and we did in Beijing this year as opposed to Silicon Valley last year. And I was thinking, the answer to that could be China, because what's interesting, so we had Robin Li of Baidu, 50 billion market cap. You ask him what's his business, it's really the Google. You remember he was a search guy, right? And in '97 he was on the West Coast and he saw Google growing and he thought, China needs one of those. I'll go and do it in China. He owns 16% of a $50 billion company. Then you have Alibaba, Jack Ma, and Alibaba is really, that's a mixture of all of them too, really. It's a mixture of Amazon and Google. And the putative, he's going to go IPO, the putative value is probably $100 billion. Mm-hmm. And in addition to that, he has a logistics platform, which will be out of Alibaba, and a transactions platform as well. So he's going to, if he gets a banking license, he will attack the banks. And then you have Tencent, which really is an amalgam of Amazon and Google and
Facebook.
And Facebook. Yeah. And then, by the way, Alibaba, just to complicate things, has bought into Charles Sina, which is only capitalized at $5 billion, right? And he's bought 18% with an option to go to 30% of Weibo, which is the WeChat competitor. And you've got that. So, but basically, you'll have three very big players. You'll have Alibaba and Tencent at 100 billion market cap, and you'll have Baidu at 50. Now, there's one other thing which is fascinating. So, at our strategy session, a guy called Lei Jun came to our strategy session. So, he's the Steve Jobs of China. He's done 3 businesses. 2 businesses are quoted. One on the New York Stock Exchange, one on the Hong Kong Exchange, both about $2.5 billion. He started 3 years ago a company called Xiaomi. You may have seen that Hugo Barra, who developed the Android system for Google, left Google about 2 weeks ago, Android, to go and join Xiaomi. Xiaomi is, you can't buy a handset. The brand is Mi, M-I, Mi, the Mi phone. You can't buy that in a retail store. You can only buy it online. It is effectively a crowdsourced phone. Every Friday, 500,000 engineers send in to Xiaomi improvements in the system. Every Friday, they update the operating system. The phone is sold at slightly above cost. It's assembled by Foxconn, which is interesting in and of itself. Again, on the basis of recommendation. Handset is updated, the operating system updated. It's an Android system. So Google has penetrated China actually without going into China. The news this morning is that Facebook, I think, and Twitter might sort of go into China. Well, Google hasn't had to go in because it's permeated its Android operating system in. But the interesting thing about Xiaomi is he doesn't make money on the handsets. He makes money on the accessories he sells and the content. And when we saw him in China about 2 months ago, we said, what else are you doing? Because he was saying, well, I'm only focusing on one product. He said, oh, well, we've got this little, he did admit he's got this little test product that was the equivalent of Apple TV on the internet, which he was testing with 200,000 homes in Shenzhen. That was 2 months ago. Just after the Hugo Barra announcement, there was another announcement from Xiaomi saying, we're going to market our internet TV box. So it's mobile telephone, internet TV box. And just to give you an idea of value, it's in its second round of venture capital funding. Hugo Shong is one of the big investors who sits on our board. He's the leading VC capitalist in China. The value of the second round of financing is $10 billion. That is 50% bigger than Nokia has just sold its mobile handset operation to Microsoft for. So if you said to me, which you didn't say to me, but I'm asking you to say to me, what's the next big thing?
What's the next big thing?
I would say it's Chinese business models in the area. We in the West think we have a monopoly on this wisdom. We don't.